Hi. Yesterday was a busy day, so I forgot to record, but I'm recording today, okay? Because I want to talk about something that's extremely important to me, extremely close to my heart. Eating disorders. When you're growing up and in school, they talk about anorexia and they talk about bulimia. Nobody talks about the other side of the spectrum. Picky eating disorder, binge eating disorder, and like sensory eating disorder if you have ADHD or autism, things like that. Nobody talks about the other stuff. And I feel like that's a shame because so many people like myself struggle with the opposite end of the spectrum when it comes to eating disorders. That being said, I just finished eating and I am on a medication that does help me with impulsive binge eating, okay? It's not a cure-all. It helps me, but it's not a cure-all. And one thing I've noticed is that although it helps me get those signals to my brain that, okay, I'm full, I'm done eating, or I don't need to sit here and just eat, it doesn't help change the mindset of what I'm supposed to eat. What type of food is going to be a fuel or not, so that mindset is I still need to fully learn what my brain is doing, what I need to do to be in a more healthy state. And that's with all medication. All medication is basically, it's helpful. It's a good way to help train your mind, but it's never going to be a cure-all. Most medications are like that. Anxiety, depression, ADHD, all of it. It helps with the symptoms, but it doesn't help with the fixing of it all. Anyway, so some things I've been training myself with are sometimes food is good for your body. Sometimes food is good for your soul. But it's a fine line. When you have anxiety, depression, and ADHD, and anything along those lines, that spectrum, there is a fine line in, am I emotional eating? Or do I need to eat this food? And it becomes like an internal weighted blanket when you binge eat. Because you get heavy on the inside, and it's like when you use a weighted blanket on the outside, you feel comfort. So when you're heavy on the inside, it's another form of comfort. And so that's where it's really difficult to fight binge eating, because when you have anxiety, because you want that comfort, you want to feel safe. And unfortunately, it's catch-22. You can't have both. So unlearning how to binge eat is a lot of not being comfortable. It's a lot. It's a big deal. And it's something that I've struggled with my entire life. I'm just now realizing here in my late 20s that A, it's affecting me negatively, and B, I don't like not being able to control what I'm putting in my mouth. So I'm taking the bull by the horns now, so 10 years from now I can still be alive and well and healthy. And I've done a pretty good, this last 6 months, I think I've done a pretty good job about controlling what I'm eating. Because the last 3 months is the time that I've been on the medication, and I think I've done pretty well. On the scale, it reflects that I'm staying, my weight's not escalating really high, it's not dropping really low, I'm staying the same, which tells me it is working to a point. It's now up to me at this point to start, being more conscious about what I'm putting in my body. So I stopped. Every now and then I still drink caffeine or an energy drink or something. But for the most part, since October, I really haven't had a ton. I've stopped drinking soda. I only drink water now. Because that's a huge one. Drinking your sugar, drinking your calories is a big one, especially for binge eaters. And overall, I just feel like it's a big healing process, because in order to heal the binge eating part, you have to be able to recognize what your triggers are right before you binge eat. You also have to recognize that sometimes it's your own anxiety and depression, and you kind of have to fight it. And it takes a lot of mental strength to do that. And it's a lot, and it's hard, and it's probably never going to be easy. And unfortunately, this is the cards that I've been dealt, and I just have to fight it. That's really what it is. I don't know if I have any more to say on binge eating, but that's things that I've been doing. If you want to know, the medication that I take, it helps with binge eating and my ADHD. It's called Vyvanse. Right now, because I'm at my insurance deductible, it's paid for, but I know come January, there's a good shot that it's not. So I'm going to have to go back on something else. But the Adderall was just not doing its Adderall thing. I don't know if you guys have heard this lately, but Adderall just hasn't been the same in the last year or two, and I've started to notice it. So I don't know what's going to happen come January, but right now I'm hoping that the medicine I'm on has enough effect on my brain to where when I'm off of it, I'm still going to have that mindset of like, okay, like my brain's going to be able to recognize when I'm full and when I should stop eating. Because there are times, and there were severe times, when I would just eat until I was sick. And I hated that feeling. It was gross. And I could tell when I wasn't hungry anymore, but I still kept eating because I felt like I had to finish. And then that brings me to the other part, was that if your parents ever forced you to sit at the table as a kid and finish your food, otherwise you weren't able to get up. That's a huge thing. That's the other thing, is like I really should be in therapy for some childhood stuff that happened. And it's all minor stuff. But, I mean, like what I just said, that's a big thing. That translated into adulthood more negatively than I would have hoped. So yeah, anyway, I gotta go to work. So that's all I really want to say for that on that topic right now. Hopefully I remember to record tomorrow. But as of now, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.